Well, I'm not an expert, but I don't think you're supposed to see daylight from inside your boat. Okay guys, well here's what's going on. I was just doing a little light demo. I didn't even get the camera out because I didn't think it'd be interesting. Because this was just like a backsplash to a little vanity area right here. So there's some 1/4 inch wood that just surrounded this, and I was just pulling it off. And lo and behold, behind this back piece, there's a bunch of damage and, dare I say, maybe even termite. But I was just poking around here and my screwdriver just went straight through the outside of the boat. So that's fiberglass right there. Everything else is actually super solid, and through the beauty of epoxy and fiberglass, that's not going to be a big deal at all. I've already sanded everything, scraped what I could with a blade, and I think I'm already going to start kind of putting this back together. Create a bench area right here. Like I said, it used to be a vanity, so the vanity top used to be at this level. I'm gonna lower it one and make a bench area right here. Right now I've got it as a kind of a makeshift shower area with a drain that drains into a sump, and that was just kind of for the last 6 months, so I'd have a good place to shower indoors. And I'm thinking about keeping that, so this bench will either be a bench inside a shower or just a bench in a hallway. So either way, we're going to build it this way. It's going to hide this through hull, which is kind of ugly, and we'll finish off this wall real nicely, coat it all in epoxy. You won't even see that all that ugliness was there. So let's get going with this project. I've kind of been procrastinating all day, but I need to get something done here. First thing, all right, the first thing I have to do is get some duct tape on the outside of the boat so that when I squeeze some epoxy in there, it doesn't just squeeze out. So it's low enough where I have to dinghy over here to the side. It's like, all right, there's the spot. Luckily it's a couple feet up from the water line, but yeah, really poked through there, didn't I? All right, let's get some tape on there. Okay, well, step one. Now we'll mix up some epoxy and yeah, start fixing holes. Here's another spot I should probably fix. Can you tell I cleaned my workshop a little bit? Maybe, maybe not, huh? All right, well, my epoxy area is still a total mess. And the other problem is, well, it's not a problem, it's actually a good thing. I got brand new epoxy. So, even though there's always like a little bit down in there in the bottom, but you really need to get the correct amounts, and these pumps are calibrated. So 1 pump is the perfect amount of resin and hardener. So let's see if we can get one more batch out of here. I think we might be able to. I always save all my sour cream and yogurt containers. All right, let's see. That seems like a full pump. Start with 2. See how the hardener is. That seemed pretty good. 2. Okay, let's do 3. All right. Looks good. The one thing I just forgot about is a stir stick, which I'm low on, but here's another trick. You always just use the back of one of your new brushes, because I got plenty of brushes. Use the back of the brush, and then you set it aside, and you can either use it again or just use it to brush next time when it's hard, when the handle's hard. Pretty ingenious, isn't it? All right, I've got my mixed epoxy here. I've got some thickener. This will make it into a glue consistency. You can make it into, you know, any consistency from like mayonnaise to peanut butter. You really want the peanut butter consistency to fill in some of these holes. But the first thing you want to do is you want to paint it all with your liquid epoxy. Let that soak in, because then the wood's not going to want to steal the epoxy. That's what I call it. It steals the epoxy from your thickened epoxy, and then you have the potential for it to be too dry and not stick well. So if it already is soaked in the liquid epoxy, then you have a much better chance of it all sticking like super good. And oh, look, there's an old nail there. I do not want to push that out that way. That'll go back out the hole, but that's a rusty old nail. So I think I'm going to start with dealing with these problem areas, these 3, and then also some of this right here. But everything's fairly solid. Not too concerned about anything. Okay, now that I've got everything wetted down, well, not everything, but kind of the big problem areas, I'm gonna thicken this. You're gonna want to put on a dust mask for this, because that stuff just gets, it's so light, it just gets in the air. You can barely see it, but it floats in the air, and super easy to breathe this stuff in. All right, there's the peanut butter consistency that you're looking for. It's already starting to react. It's getting really hot. I can feel it, so I need to get it on the wall. And try to, the thinner the layer is, the less it's going to try to heat up. So let's just get it in there. All right, that wasn't even close to it. That wasn't even close to enough epoxy, so I got to mix up some more. Okay, everything's been swiped with epoxy. There you go, looking good. Even that big one looks great. I just gotta wait for that to go off, and then we can sand it and paint it. It's a gorgeous day out. It's actually too hot out there to do any work in the sun, so I'm coming inside. I'm starting a new project, as if I needed any more projects. The toilet project is staring me in the face, the sink project, but I've got some wet epoxy over there, and that always kind of stops you in your tracks. You want to do this project, but you just have to wait for it to dry. So I've been staring at this for a long time, and I'm just gonna get started on it. So this is a berth. People used to sleep here. There was actually another one at this level here that suspended from the ceiling, so there was 2 more beds here. As if there weren't enough, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cabins here, and then a cabin forward, so there's already 5 cabins. You could even sleep someone here. So I don't think I'm ever gonna sleep here or have anyone else sleep here, and so that's the only reason this is so wide. And as you can see, the whole thing kind of closes in toward that little door. And when you get over here, it's a real killer. This little corner, you just want to kick it every time you walk through here. And so I've been looking at this for a while, and I've also been looking at these two kind of dead spaces here at the end. So there's one right there, that's kind of a dead area, and then this corner. And they tend to just pile up junk. So I want to make them more useful, and then also gain that space. That's 6 inches that I could gain right there. It makes a huge difference in a small space. And the other thing would be then to get rid of this overhang. There's an overhang, as you can see right there. And so I would just kind of cut that down, and then I've already drawn a line. I don't know if you can see it there. Just following basically this line straight back. Now everything is curving, right? The hull is curving, so getting this all to like lay out where it looks halfway good is tricky, but there's already this kind of base here. So I would imagine just like cutting this, deleting all this, and then maybe I can even reuse this board. I love reusing stuff. And basically just close this up. And yeah, then I'm not sure how far this piece continues. I think it continues under there. So this may all just work out fairly easy. Just a jigsaw cut and some like, maybe try to do some like careful demo. And then I can scribe a line underneath here, because this lifts up. So this is storage underneath here. We're gonna have to do some digging down there, see if we can find some treasures too. And then just cut this whole thing. The reason I haven't done it is because it's gonna force me to replace this pad. And that's kind of a big item, and then I have to decide on fabric, and so that's probably why I haven't done this project. And oh, there's one more reason, is that the leaf on this table is basically impossible to put up, because there's a what's it called, the support. There's one on this end and one on this end, and so you basically have to sit in the middle to reach them both. But if you sit here, you can't get it past your knees, even if you... So the design is a little bit off. Otherwise you need 2 people to open the table if you're doing it from this end. So that extra 4 or 5 inches here is going to make all of this work so much better. And so the idea for this side is possibly to do a bar area, and then the idea for this side is to do a dedicated coffee station. I've already brought power out here, and I think it'd be great to not have coffee in the galley, but to have it out here. So they'd probably come off with this rib right here, this level, with a little table. Now I do have to consider whether I want someone to be able to slide in here. So I might not want to come all the way out again. Again, there's some space to be gained. I could cut this back about 6 inches as well. And then there would be a nice coffee station, maybe an espresso machine right here. I think that'd be super cool in here. And yeah, eventually redo these 2 cushions as well. So lots of stuff to do, but I think this is like a good small project that can be like started, and it's not too big of a mess to like leave halfway done if I need to. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of cut an exploratory hole right here, or drill, excuse me, drill a hole, and then just jig this out. Well guys, so this piece, you know, is probably from 1969. The last time this saw daylight. That's pretty wild. Woo! This is all built so incredibly strong. And look at these joints, just everything is so tight. Like this is just a little shelf area, but it's built like bulletproof. Pretty awesome. Okay, I've been hacking away at it for a minute here, but it's looking really good. There's a bunch of funny little angles and things going on and things I had to cut off, and but we're getting there. This line's a little squiggly, but I think I'm gonna keep it white so I can just caulk it, so that'll be easy. But I just found, because I need to kind of continue this flat board here, so I just found this scrap wood from another thing I just demoed, and it's got this nice curve on it already. So this is my first fit here. Let's see, probably needs a little more taken out there, but look at that, it's gonna be super nice. And then we're gonna do a little vertical piece right there. Going to be awesome. Okay, round two. Man, look how nice that is already. So much more room to walk through instantly. Yeah, super happy with that. Probably gonna sand this edge and maybe still find a piece. It's 5.5 inches, so if I have an extra 1x6, oh no, it's less now because I came up. Well, that would still work, because then I have a nice lip on the front of that, front of this, so that's actually good. Boat stuff, you want to usually have a lip. So let's see. This is going to be a nice little hole, but like I said, I think I'll just use some caulking on all this and not worry about it too much. Yeah, that's nice.